Olive of Olive Dragon 23's channel, and I have a spinning chair. I feel like a freaking Bond villain. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. No, okay. Alright, my bad Russian accent. Sorry, Russia. Anyway, so I figured that in honor of me being in the dorm for summer school, as of today, I moved in this afternoon, we would do something, we'd do another sort of advice video. Let's talk about college. Now, soon to be an 8-time veteran of the dorm, I think I am now qualified to give my 2 cents on the matter and give you guys, if you're not in college yet, some advice on how to make it work. I've been in the dorms for 4 years of college. I'm coming back as a super senior next year. And I'm not going to be in the dorm anymore. I'm getting an apartment, finally. But here's the thing. When you go to college, you should probably make the decision between whether on-campus housing or apartment housing is better for you. Because, like, at Appalachian State, housing is really, really limited, so they do a lottery system. I don't know how I've gotten back in the dorm 4 years in a row. Mostly luck, I guess. But if your school has a lottery system and you can choose roommates or request roommates, network if you want to stay on campus. Because the more people you put in to getting into the same dorm room, the more likely you are to stay on campus. This is especially true at App. If you don't like your roommates, you should probably try to work it out first, but beware of roommates, because if a roommate tells you something, like if you communicate prior to the semester and they say something you don't think you're going to be able to put up with, like I smoke weed, I do drugs, whatever it may be. I've had this happen. I had 3 bad roommates in 2 years. So I know what I'm talking about. If they tell you something like that prior to the semester starting and you don't think it's going to be a good fit, you should probably start filling out that roommate change form ASAP. In my case, I did not have to switch rooms. The girl moved out. And then I got an even crappier roommate who she was not a party skank like the first girl, but she never left the room and we didn't talk, and it was just a really bad fit. So, beware of roommates. If you do like your roommate, perfect, but you still probably want to talk about boundaries, because honestly, every person has little habits and little tendencies that are going to drive other people crazy when they live in a very, very small space with them. So it's usually good to discuss things like that, and if something comes up, talk about it right away. Don't sit there and let it fester into a giant mess of a problem, because then your roommate and you are just going to hate each other, and you have to live with each other in a closet for a year. That's a long, long time, especially if you're somewhere like Appalachian where it snows. So you might be trapped in your room with your roommate for like a week straight and not be able to go anywhere. And you're running out of food and you have cabin fever and you're sick. Yeah. Something like that. You want to make sure you don't have issues when that happens. I had a roommate where I would literally have silent heater wars with this girl, because she was bigger than me, to put it politely, And so she did not get cold the way that I get cold, because I have bad circulation, so I'm very sensitive to cold air. So, like, I would turn the heat up, and then she would immediately get up and turn it off, or turn it to, like, 65. I can't do 65, especially not in winter. So we did that for months, and I never addressed it. So I'm trying to give you guys advice on what I've learned from my mistakes from being in the dorms for so long. What else? Oh, if you have suite mates that you don't get along with, for whatever reason, there comes a time where using the RA to be a good mediator is very acceptable, and that's usually when they really start to get on your nerves about certain things, like cleaning your bathroom if you have a suite style bathroom like my roommate and I did. Because if they don't clean the bathroom, and there's 4 of you, when they live there and use it, that's a problem. And my roommate and I have dealt with this before. This is going to sound very childish, but sometimes making a bathroom/toilet paper buying schedule, like a bathroom cleaning, like you two clean it this day and we'll clean it this day, and then you like alternate it, and having that list posted somewhere can really help. We did that for toilet paper. We never quite succeeded with bathroom cleaning, but it's a good system. It works. We used it at camp. Spinning chair break. If you have a hall style bathroom, like a lot of dorms do, this one does, don't throw your personal fucking trash in the hall bathroom garbage cans. I cannot tell you how annoyed it makes me, because the hall staff is not your cleaning lady. It is their job to keep the floor manageably livable. What a phrase. Anyway, but it is not their job to clean up after you because you are a fucking slob. That's not their job. And anyone who assumes that it's their job needs a good kick in the balls. Or the ovaries, depending on what gender you are. Or both. I don't know. I don't judge. But, yeah, so throw your personal trash away by yourself. You're in college, it's time to put on the big boy pants. Or the big girl pants. Also, can't believe I have to say this, but if you're in college, don't flush, and you have a hall bathroom, or if you have any bathroom, don't fucking flush your tampons down the toilet. Cannot tell you the amount of times when I was a freshman I would run into a tampon in the toilet, and I'd be like, what the fuck you guys doing? You're 18, you should know this, but apparently some women don't. Girls are kind of gross sometimes, honestly. Also, if you have a suite mate, or you are someone's suite mate, don't invite your guy friends over and then invite them into your showers. Don't invite guys into your shower at all if you're in college, because you're on a public floor. You're in a shared space. That's not okay. Oh yeah, administration. Administration, where do I start? Okay, when you come to the open house of your college, wherever it is, Appalachian, make sure that your school's administration can tell you what the fuck you need to know when you have a question or need assistance with a form or anything like that. Make sure your university has a good administration, because if you get to a school and your school's administration sucks dicks, you're gonna be in for a world of hurt if you need something. For instance, my school likes to give you the runaround whenever you have a question. God forbid you ever have a question at this school, because the advising department doesn't know what the hell is going on. So for instance, I declared my major, like a good sophomore, and I received a letter telling me that my major was declared and everything was cool, and that I would be getting an advisor in my department, English, within like 3 weeks. And I was like, cool, I'll have a new advisor. This is after my gen ed advisor screwed me over by giving me like a 10-minute meeting during a class that I had of hers instead of an actual advising appointment, and she was retiring, so she told me all the wrong classes to take. So I had like 10 wasted hours of classes I didn't need. Make sure that doesn't happen with you. But when I was getting my major advisor, I started calling that summer, because this was a couple of weeks before school let out that I received my "you'll get a new advisor" letter. So I call my department, the English department, and I say, so I haven't received notice about my major advisor. This is about midway through the summer. And they're like, oh yeah, you know, we haven't updated the list, whatever. It's TBA. And I was like, okay, but they said that I was going to be assigned someone like 2 to 3 weeks. It's been like a month and a half. And they were like, yeah, you know, we'll let you know. And then I ended up having to call them about this shit for 4 months. And the only way, every person I would speak to, I went in person. When I got to school, I went to the office in person, and still got bullshit. The secretary sat there and laughed at me when I was talking to him about it. So, the only way that I actually figured out that I had an advisor at all was I noticed the advising list posted outside in the hallway one day. And happened to notice that my name was on it and figured it out from there. So thanks for that. So make sure that your like advisors and stuff, like make sure the advising department can actually like hold its shit together. I also had an advisor, my major advisor, my first one, did not, like, I was not made aware when he went on like hiatus from the campus for an entire semester. So I sent him an email around registration time to make an appointment with him. And he's like, I'm not on campus, so they'll put you with someone else. And I was like, really? No one would email me about this, but they'll email you. Appalachian will not email you about important things. They will email you about, oh, did you know you're living in the same room you're living in now next semester when you haven't requested a roommate change or anything? No? Well, now you do. Because good thing we sent you an email. Yeah, they'll send you emails like that. And all kinds of fucking spam, but they won't email you about anything important. So, like, I had to go back to the English department office. The English department here sucks dick. Don't come here if you want to major in English. I know that makes the school look bad, but honestly, the English department does not have its shit together. So, yeah, good luck on that if you're an English major at App. But, so I had to go talk to the dude about getting a different advisor. He's like, yeah, we're updating the list and we're switching you guys around and, you know, whatever. I was just like, so I had to go back like 3 times before they would finally give me a fucking answer. So, yeah, administration, not so great. My roommate had a problem too with her department, and it had never happened before apparently, so nobody knew what to do about it. And she literally she just came back to the room in like tears and said, I can't find the person or the place that they're trying to send me, and I've been to like 3 different people. So I grabbed her hand and took her on this adventure to find someone to sign her form, and it took like half an hour, and I was just like, this is the most stupid bullshit I've ever seen in my life. And the unfortunate part is they were very impressive, this school was, at the beginning, but that's how they get you. That's how they get you. But, so yeah, make sure you check on the administration of your school after your initial open house thing. Because that's the part they won't tell you about. Just, you know, make sure about that. The staff has been okay. Most of my professors will answer their email fairly promptly. That's another thing you have to be careful about. But most of my professors answer their emails and want to actually help you, most of them. If you get a bad professor, well, you can usually tell who the bad professors are because the class will start out full and then, like, the next day there's like 10 people. True story, that has happened to me. When there's only 10 people left in the class, get out. Do you hear me? Get out. Because otherwise you're gonna suffer and suffer hard because that professor obviously is doing something wrong. Just trust me on that one. And you might make it out better than I did in some of my classes. Because I had a single semester with 2 teachers like that. It was not good. I made very poor grades because I could not please these assholes. Speaking of professors, if you do have a question, email them. And if they give you their phone number and are like, hey, you can call me at such and such a time if you have a question, you should probably do it if you really, really need to. Don't bother professors at night, though, because they have lives too. I know it seems weird to think of a teacher as having a life outside of a classroom. It's kind of like they go in a little closet and power down, but my mom's a teacher. They do have lives. They do other things besides teaching and grading papers, I promise. So don't call them at night. Call them at a reasonable human time, you know? Just a thought. So, I want to talk a little bit about move-in day and move-out day, because those are important days when you're in college, especially if you're a freshman and you don't know quite how everything works just yet. So when you're a freshman, my best advice always when you're moving in, but particularly when you're a freshman and you don't know what you might need and what you might use and what you won't, is pack light and practical. If you need other stuff, you can bring it up later in the year, or you can go get it at like Walmart or whatever, because I'm pretty sure every single college town has like a chain store somewhere, like a Target or something. Because otherwise it's going to be a very painful move-in day, and nobody wants to have to haul a bunch of stuff into the building or out of the building. Move-out day, I would suggest taking as much shit home over the Easter break as you can, because that will save you a lot of pain when your actual move-out day comes, because you'll have a lot less stuff and half of it will already be put away at home, so it'll be a lot less unpacking for you. Take it from me, my freshman year I had a buttload of stuff to take home. It was kind of bad. I lived on the 9th floor of my building. The other part of not taking a lot of stuff that you don't think you'll use. If you don't think you'll use it, don't take it. You can always get it later. But the other part of it is, if you are in a freshman dorm, you are probably in one of the shitty dorms. I certainly was. Freshman dorms just suck, but you're required to live there. So, they also don't have a lot of space. Like, you see this room behind me? This is a big room, and it is pretty darn small. My room in Newland might be a little bit bigger than this, but not by much. My room when I was a freshman was essentially like the front sides of these two beds and back. I'm not even joking. It was like the middle of this room if you made it into a hallway. So there was not a lot of space. And I lived with this girl who, I swear to God, she was a hoarder because she would keep trash. I found a rotten banana on our floor once, and I got really aggravated with her and told her, you know, hey, this can't be happening in our room because it's disgusting and it makes the room smell awful, and just no. Granted, that never happened again. I never found rotted food again. But the girl would keep everything. She had a stack of old newspapers, I swear, from like the second week to the end of the year. Just sitting on the floor. I don't know what they were for. You could not see the floor around the desk. You could not see her bed. You could not see her actual desk or her chair. And her closet, we had like built-in closets into the wall. It was just an avalanche of shit. Like clothes and bags and shoes and I don't even know. Like just spilling out all the time. And then she would get angry when she couldn't find anything. I said, well, maybe if you cleaned your space, you know, you would be able to find things. So it's very, very important to be organized, or your life is going to be messy, your roommate's not going to be happy, and it's going to be a mess. Because I had to live with all that shit for the entire year, and it made the room smell bad, and I couldn't eat. And that's the thing, it was all on my side too, and I could not, by the end of the year, I could not hardly get out of the building, out of my room, without tripping over her shit. It was almost a fire hazard, really, and the building was pretty crap anyway, so, you know. So, yeah, conserve your things, conserve your space. You're gonna want it, especially, like, after, like, 2-3 weeks, and you're like, I'm overcrowded with shit. Yeah. If you're a slob, you should really try to organize yourself in a small space. Because I'm not a perfectionist. I'm not super clean. I know the room looks clean. This is all my room this year, or this semester. But I know this looks clean, but I just moved in, so all my stuff is in the right place. I have room to spread out. I'm not bothering anyone. But in a small space, I have to organize or I lose my mind. So, yeah, at home, my room is a little more messy because it's bigger. Case in point, don't bring a lot of shit. It'll be less painful for everyone. Okay, making friends. This is kind of a tough topic for me because I'm a huge introvert, so making friends can sometimes be a challenge for me. Well, let me put it this way. I'm going to lump this in with dating and partying just for the sake of sanity. But let's start with just general making friends in college. When I moved up here as a freshman, I did not know anyone coming to this college. My boyfriend at the time had gone to ECU, and word of advice, don't follow your boyfriends to their colleges because if it doesn't work out, you're stuck there. And it may not be as suited to you, boyfriend and or girlfriend. It works both ways. Don't do that. It's a very poor decision. Likewise, it's not always the best decision to follow your friends from high school to college. Like, don't just go because your friends are going. Go to a college that actually suits you. That's important. That's what I did because I didn't know anyone. None of my high school friends were coming up here. I didn't know anyone previously that was already here or anything. And I didn't follow my boyfriend. I almost did. But that was more because the school has a good art program, and that's what I was trying to do, than just, I'm going to go where my boyfriend goes, because I'm not that dumb. But, which is good that I didn't follow him, because it didn't work out. So, if you want to make friends in college, I was pretty much alone for the first part of first semester. I didn't know about anybody. I spent a good bit of time in my room or wandering around by myself on campus, taking pictures, just kind of doing my own thing, and that's good. I mean, you know, I would definitely encourage doing things like that because me time is important. But, like, I was friends with the girl down the hall with me for a while, and she was nice, but we weren't super compatible or anything. But she was someone to talk to, someone to visit with. And the rest of the girls on my floor were very nice too, so it wasn't so bad. But I was very lonely at points, especially the first day when my parents left. That's a hard feeling because you are by yourself and you have to take care of your own shit for the most part, and you have to make sure you get to classes and wake yourself up and make friends, and you know, like, you can call them or whatever, but they're away depending on how far away from home you are. In this case, I am 3 hours away from home, which is away, but not so far away that I couldn't go home if I really needed to or wanted to. But I try not to do that too often, because it's expensive gas money, you know, long trip, that kind of thing. But when I was a freshman, that was kind of a horrible feeling for a little while. So I just kind of went down the hall and latched on to whoever would talk to me. But in October of that year, I happened to come across, through my friend down the hall, my current roommate and my best friend up here, Angela, who I have been friends with ever since. There was a lame Halloween dorm party. Dorm parties suck, by the way. Speaking of partying, yeah, dorm parties are pretty lame, but I would suggest going to them anyway. Just make sure you're the coolest looking person there. And when I say that, usually I'm talking about cosplay for me and Angela. But I met her through this other girl, and we hit it off like that. Now that doesn't always happen, so what I would tell you is get involved in things. Get involved with a club or, you know, like, I don't know, fucking honor society, volunteer group, whatever suits you. They usually have like club expos and stuff like that. Just do things on campus. You might meet someone at something you go to on campus and stay friends. And you can try to meet people in your classes, especially because you might need them for like notes or something one day, and you know, it's just good to have a buddy with these things. Buddy system. It never fails unless you both die. Oh wait. But anyway, so you could do that. But it can be kind of tough to make friends in classes, especially if you're taking like a full load your freshman year or whatever, and you have a lot of homework, so you don't get out much, and on. But it is good to be involved in things. I kind of wish I'd been involved in more stuff as I approach being a super senior. Maybe next year I will, next semester I will get into a club or something for a little while. But, because I'm not very good at taking my own advice. But yeah, definitely do that. In terms of dating, I have not done a ton of dating in college, but I will say be careful who you date. You really need to, because a lot of people in college are creepers. And I'm talking hardcore, really weird creepers, and you gotta be watching that. Especially segueing into parties. Especially at parties, don't drink by yourself. And when I say by yourself, I usually mean, like, don't get drunk with semi-strangers. Because that's dumb. Like, if you think you know someone, great, but don't get drunk. it's just a safety thing. Or bring someone with you who can take you home when you get drunk. It's good to have people who can take care of you if you're going to get wasted and things like that. And allow me to lecture like my parents do for a moment. Watch your drinks. Mostly girls, watch your drinks, but dudes too, I guess. It can happen to anybody. Because drugging is a real thing. I have a couple of friends who we were out at the bar just hanging out, and they were like, yeah, I've been drugged twice and I've been drugged once, and I was just like, I've never been drugged because I'm so paranoid about my drinks. Like, if I set it down, I will not touch it again. I will get a new one. Don't leave your shit unattended. It's not a good plan. And college campuses are not the safest places in the world. Also, walking through campus at night by yourself is probably not the best idea. Walking through town at night by yourself is probably not the best idea. I am guilty of doing this all the time, though, because I spend late nights in the library, and I don't really get much choice in the matter. If you are going to do that, have something sharp on you. Have mace. Mace is good. A lot of colleges won't let you have weapons, so like knives and stuff, unfortunately you can't have them, but just that kind of thing. But I would probably try to avoid late night walking by yourself as much as you can if you're a girl. But in terms of dating, I would probably say, you know, just be sensible about it. But you should definitely probably, depending on your experience level of dating, mine was not very high when I got here. You know, just be smart about it, and maybe don't date your friends, because that will destroy group dynamics. Like, unless you think it's really going to work out, I would not probably get super attracted to your friends and start dating in a serious way unless you think it's really going to work, because nobody likes drama, and if it doesn't work out, it pretty much becomes like high school again. Nobody wants to be back in high school, and if you do, I'm a little confused about why. You can tell me in the comments, but I don't really know anyone who's like, yeah, man, I wish I was still in high school. I say that sometimes, and then I go, wait, no, I don't. I just miss being around my friends all the time. Stress management. There's a good one for college. In terms of, college is a very stressful place. It just is. You're by yourself. You've got a lot of courses. Things get a lot harder in college. But you gotta manage your stress levels, or you're just not gonna do very well. You're just not. Trust me on that one. When I was a freshman, I had to take a lot of gen ed courses, and those included mathematics, and I have a diagnosed learning disability in mathematics, and I have problems with memory and stuff related to mathematics, and I just can't do it. So I failed remedial math once and had to retake it, and I passed it the second time after much pain and struggle. And then I had to take the next level of math to actually count toward graduation because my school's dumb. And that was very stressful, and I failed it the first time and had to take it again in the summer. Summer school is a very good thing, just a side note. I highly recommend doing it because classes are easier and the time is shorter, but you do have to actually study. It's not just a party, as much as I would like it to be. But anyway, stress in that class was very high, just because by the time I got to college, I was just fucking done with everything that had to do with mathematics. I could not do it, and pretty much an entire lifetime of struggle with mathematics had come to a point, and I could not fucking do it anymore. But I had to, so I had a panic attack during a test in remedial. and I had a panic attack during a test in 10/20, and I had to leave the room twice, and I went home and had a mental breakdown for about 5 hours until I like cried myself to sleep or something. I don't really remember. I was really in a bad place. But stress will do a lot of horrible things to you, so you have to take time to relax. You have to take time to go out. Outside is a good place when you're stressed. So you have to take time to go out, and you have to take care of yourself. You have to eat, sleep, bathe. Those are 3 things that always need to happen, and maybe a little social time if you can swing it. Because seeing other people is good for you. But if you can balance that with your work, you will have a lot less trouble, and you won't have to have a mental breakdown. Usually. It still happens. I don't think it's a good thing that I'm saying that you should expect that, because some people don't. It just depends. But stress management is very, very, very important. If you take away nothing else from this video, remember that.